Everyone. Chris Allen back, as I was of you that watched here on YouTube and Facebook with another severe weather update. The current time is 10:38. It is New Year's Day. It is a Saturday. It's warm. Temperature at 67. Dew points are in the 60s, and we've got winds that are now gusty at 30 to 40 miles per hour, out of ahead of a big line of thunderstorms that we anticipated coming in for today. And we already have a tornado warning that is in effect. Let me show you the radar. This is back into Todd County. This Todd County tornado warning is, well, we're getting another warning coming in now. Let's see what this one is.
The National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Logan County in south central Kentucky until 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. At 10:37 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 8 miles northeast of Elkton, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will be near Russellville around 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building.
Yeah, so that is the latest warning, severe thunderstorm warning, but I'm looking at that. Now we're looking on radar in northern Logan County, up near Lewisburg. This is 431 as it goes north into Muhlenberg County. But here's Lewisburg, Russellville. And you can see we've got one of those areas where we've got some inbound winds and some outbound winds. It's not a very tight rotation, but it's enough for the Weather Service to issue us at least a severe thunderstorm warning. But it is capable of producing a tornado. And uh, even though we haven't had confirmed reports of a tornado, this is the same cell that produced a tornado warning, which is still in effect for parts of Todd County that you see right here because of this couplet where you see some of the reds and greens coming together. And all of that is moving off to the east and northeast at about 60 miles per hour. The problem is that it's not moving east very much. It's moving more northeast, and these things just keep running over the same area, and that's why we're having the flooding issues. The flooding has been just incredible this morning in a lot of places. I'll put this into motion so you can see. On the left hand side of the radar is the normal reflectivity. On the right side is the velocity. And what we look at there is where the greens meet the reds. And when you see that happening, there's either a lot of spin going on in the atmosphere. And if it makes its way down to the ground, it could, not always, but it could produce a tornado. So that's something that we're looking at there in Logan County, especially the northern half from about Russellville, Auburn, northward up toward Lewisburg. So that is what you're looking at right now on the radar scope. So this is something that we're going to continue to watch over the next several hours as this anticipated line of storms begins to move in. Um, this, what we had this morning, was kind of a precursor or kind of a warm up, if you will, of what is coming now and over the next several hours. Slow progress of that cold front trying to work its way eastward, but then everything is running up as you see those cells running up northeast. They're running pretty fast, 55 to 60 miles per hour, just like you would drive a car. It is slowly moving eastward, and you can tell just by going outside that we've got a very spring-like atmosphere. The dew points are in the 60s. That's not good. We've had some sun, and we're getting a little bit right now here on Campbell Lane at the Sam Studios. That's not good either. And if you looked at my earlier post from this morning, I said to be watchful for the sun to come out, heating up an already very moisture laden, unstable atmosphere. And that sun energy, when it hits that moisture, it just makes things kind of explode. Now, again, I want to caution everybody, we are not looking at a situation that we had 3 weeks ago today. It's been 3 weeks. Seems like yesterday, but it's been 3 weeks. Um, so while we may have a spin up, we may have a brief tornado with this line as it moves in, it doesn't appear that it's going to be anything like we had 3 weeks ago. It's not the same kind of setup. First of all, this is during the day. Yes, we do have some heating. We do have a little bit of or instability, some dynamics, the cold front coming in. All of that's going to work together to make for a severe weather situation, but a tornado outbreak on the scale that we had 3 weeks ago, this is not that. Uh, Still, the threat of a tornado is there. In fact, we're looking at the weather service here, and I'm in their chat room. So if you hear these little tones going off, that's them talking to me, and I'm talking to them, and they're talking to other meteorologists and weather people across the state. They are discussing a new tornado watch that will be going up here shortly for our area, mostly southern Kentucky. So that's what we've got to watch for. But again, severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Logan County, the northern half of Logan County that you see on the radar there until 11:15. And we're going to keep an eye on that here. Let me also say that I am on YouTube, our Storm channel, our Sam channel BG, Storm channel, Sam channel BG. You can go there, subscribe for free, and anytime I do one of these weather updates, it'll automatically notify you on your phone or device that I'm going to be on YouTube. And I'm also on all of my Facebook channels, Facebook pages, the Sam 100.7 Facebook page. So you all should be seeing that and hearing me right now. And on top of that, I can see your comments, and I've got a chat room open here. I won't be able to answer a lot of questions because as this thing gets going and we start popping out a lot of warnings, I'm just going to be working this radar and really looking at the chat room here from the weather service to see exactly what's going on. And if there are tornado warnings for the immediate Sam listening area, then I'll need to break in on the radio side at 100.7 and do that. So just to give you a little behind the scenes here, uh, that's what it's all about and where we're going. Um, yeah, it's the atmosphere is juiced up. We do have enough, moisture. The dew points are up there. Wind advisory, that's what you just heard there from the weather service. There are wind advisories that are popping up um, for the entire area. The winds are going to be quite gusty, 30, 40, maybe some gusts to 50 in some cases. So we've got to be watchful and mindful of that too, because, here it is, the new year. Welcome to the new year. It's just like the old year. What's that song? There's a song that's in with the old, out with the old, in with the new. The old year is just the same as the new year. Emperor's new clothes. All those sayings. It's just as the last year went out, the new year's coming in with severe weather. I was actually here very early this morning at around 5 a.m. or actually, no, it was more like 2 or 3. A radar. I had to reset my radar, though. If you don't see it for just a second, that's fine. Anyway, I'll wait for that to pop back up. But I was here early this morning. We had a few strong storms come through, some severe, but it was mostly about flooding. And some of you have seen some high rises in your creeks and your streams and rivers. Flood watch continues today. That is going to continue for a while because we just have swollen creeks and rivers and streams, and we're about to get more rain on top of that. So that's not a good situation to be in. And so just be aware of that. Don't try to drive through any of that because it can be life threatening. And with more rain coming in, some of you are going to end up before all this rain is over with between 3 and 4 inches of rain over the last 24 hours or so. So that's just crazy. The tornado watch is about to come down now, and then I'll get the specific counties and I'll read them out for you. I'm looking in the chat room here while things are just a little quiet. I use that in quotes. Let's see who all's in here. Looking at Lynn, looking at Jody, Wayne, Tina. Thank you all. Now, some of you are saying, what about my town? What about this town? What about, I can't. There's just too many. Just the best thing to do is to, as these warnings start to come out, it's going to get crazy here for the next little bit. So just bear with me. I will be mentioning cities that are under the gun, but I couldn't tell you right now who's going to get what. But here comes another warning from the Weather Service, and we'll see what this one is about. Let me go back to radar in the meantime. Oh, this is the tornado watch, I think.
The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch number 3, effective until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This watch includes the following counties in Kentucky: Allen, Barron, Edmondson, Logan, Simpson, and Warren, and the following counties in Tennessee: Macon, Montgomery, Robertson, and Sumner. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, broadcast radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information.
Okay. So there you go. As anticipated, a new tornado watch is in effect it really takes in mostly southern Kentucky, where we are, where we live. It includes Adair, Allen, Barron, Clinton, Cumberland, Edmondson, Greene, Hart, LaRue, Logan, Metcalf, Monroe, Russell, Simpson, Taylor, and Warren. And it goes until 6 p.m. Central Time on this New Year's Day. Going back to radar, here is that severe thunderstorm warning, which has shown some broad rotation in Logan County, north of Russellville, and the suspect area would be this area right here. Let me get my pen to work. Illustrator, right in there, just southeast of Lewisburg, and it is moving off to the northeast at about 60 miles per hour. So that's going to put it here shortly in the tip southern corner of Butler County. But right now, Butler County, you're not under a warning, but just be advised that that is coming your direction. It's not a confirmed tornado. It's just we're seeing some rotation on the radar with that severe thunderstorm that is coming your way. And I think regardless of whether there's a tornado or not, with that cell, it is going to produce maybe some wind damage. It's got a little bit of a bow structure to it, which means the upper winds are coming down to the ground and can push trees and limbs and maybe some power lines over. If the winds are strong enough, it can certainly do that. You don't need a tornado to have wind damage. So that's something that we're continuing to watch with that. Um, there has been some reports of damage over in Hopkinsville with this same line, some trees down, some power lines down, and then some flooding. You know, Hopkinsville has got I can't remember is it Little River or Little Creek or something like that that runs through the middle of town, and that usually floods when there's heavy rain, such we've had early this morning, and they've had some flooding there as well. So Hopkinsville has received some damage, but it is not confirmed to be a tornado. So, but everybody watching, I've got you covered from west to east. Here in southern Kentucky, you live anywhere close to, say, south of the Cumberland Parkway, 6880, the Western Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, and down across northern Middle Tennessee, I've got you covered here, down to just north of Nashville. That's kind of the SAM broadcast area, although we do go further. But those of you, of course, watching on social media, online, you can be watching from anywhere in the world right now, watching all this. So I'm going to try to keep you up to date on all these. Let me go through some of these. Okay, somebody was saying a few minutes ago, sirens going off in Russellville. Well, that's because of the severe thunderstorm warning. It is not a tornado warning. Okay, just want to reassure you that. Let's see. Let me Now, if you want to report something, you can report like damage, or if you see something, you can report that to me in the chat room with your comments, and then I can send it directly to the National Weather Service in their chat room, and they'll see it. So keep that in mind as we're going along here. Again, I don't know how long this will be. It could be several hours because of the slow eastward movement of this system. Even though those individual cells are racing off to the north and east at 55 to 60 miles per hour, that overall line, maybe I should show that to you. Let me get rid of the split box here and go back to the main box and zoom out. This is what I'm talking about. The main line, look at that. See how it's just barely moving east? But individual cells, the leading edge of this is the worst of it. Right on the leading edge where we've got these warnings, that's where the worst weather is. Behind it is just a bunch of rain. But that's going to make flooding matters worse as we go through time because we've had rain already, some 2, almost 3 inches of rain. Some of you have picked up early this morning, right after midnight, right after we rung in the new year. It's almost like, well, this is not a sponge. I use, instead of RING, I do the WRING. You wrung out the new year. Imagine this is a sponge soaked with water, wrung out. You rung in the new year, wrung out the old one and rung in the new one. So it's kind of play on words, but you get the idea. If you were out at midnight or after, you know what I'm talking about. It rained hard. And that's why we still have those green boxes that you see from, well, Allen County through Barron, Metcalf, Adair, up to Casey County and beyond. Those green lines indicate flood warnings where they have had to deal with flooded roadways. Into far eastern Kentucky, they've had to deal with water rescues. Over there, you get into the mountainous areas, some of the hills and valleys, and you get a lot of water runoff. You're going to have water emergencies and people trapped, and it's not a good situation over in eastern Kentucky, and they still have this rain yet to go through. So, that's not a good situation. But you see what I'm talking about here, how this line is just barely crawling eastward, but individual cells on the leading edge of this, they are racing northeast at about 60 miles per hour. This is what we call shear. We've got winds coming in one direction near the ground out of the southwest. Then you've got steering winds above us that are racing off to the north and east. Then you've got the push of the cold front, which is still way back here to the west, that is pushing this eastward. So all of that, you see how that kind of creates a spin? That's what we're concerned about. And we've had enough sun come out between this morning's heavy rainfall and right now that's why we're looking at these severe thunderstorm cells, and some of those are going to maybe produce a brief tornado or a spin up. These are not the EF3s and EF4s and all that stuff we dealt with 3 weeks ago. This is not that. Usually along what we call a squall line, which is that's what this is, you're going to have these little brief spin ups that don't last very long. Yes, they can do damage, but not on the order of what we saw 3 weeks ago on December 11th. So I just want to reassure you that yes, you could have a tornado warning or even an actual tornado, but it's not going to be on the scale of what we had back on December 11th. Let me check this. Flash flood warning now. Let me see. Flash flood warning for Todd and Christian counties until 2 o'clock. So, see, back there, they've had the worst. Let me zoom into that area. That would be Hopkinsville, Elkton. Here comes a new severe thunderstorm warning for Edmondson County until 11:15. New severe thunderstorm warning for Edmondson County until 11:15. That'll be coming over the weather radio here and on air in just a second. But you see back here, the leading edge of the worst of the storms now past Hopkinsville. So now what they're getting is just a bunch of rain for another couple of hours. And these cells just keep running over the same real estate over and over and over. And that's what causes flash flooding. So again, the more severe storms are on the leading edge of this, now moving through Logan County and now into Edmondson County. We've got a spike here of a cell that has to be watched. Let's see. I want to get a split on this one. Show velocity. Let the radar catch up with it. Oh, yeah. Okay. So south of Brownsville, maybe not a tornado, but it could be capable of producing one, and therefore the warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Edmondson County until 11:15.
The National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for central Edmondson County in south central Kentucky until 11:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. At 10:59 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Brownsville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Expect damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of central Edmondson County, including the following locations: Mammoth Cave, Colleviot, Rhoda, Nick, Cedar Spring, Pig, Asphalt, and Ali. A tornado remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central and Central Kentucky. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central and Central Kentucky.
Okay, so what's happening now is we're getting just enough sunshine through the clouds for even that hour, 2 hours or so. For some of you, it's probably been longer. And what that does, it takes that that lid of warm air that's been on top of us, and it breaks it. It's like getting a pot of boiling water, which is the atmosphere, all the moisture just sitting there, just boiling, waiting to get some additional heat. And when you take the top off, everything starts to lift, and you get the steam and you get the hot air and all, you get all of that buoyancy, that's what we call it, instability, that's another word for it, that up and down motion going on with the winds that I showed you a while ago with the main line, all that twist and turning of the winds with height, shear. Anybody that's a pilot knows about shear. That's what happens. And that's what's happening right now. And that's why we had that quiet period after the rains this morning. And now we're starting to get warnings for possible tornadoes, although none have been confirmed. But there is some rotation out there. And all it would take is just the right amount of energy and wind to produce a brief spin up. But again, this is not going to be anything like what we had back on December 11th, a couple of weeks ago. So I want you, um, I want you to make sure that you understand that. The worst thing you could do is panic. We don't want anybody to be in a panic. And that has been my philosophy for a long time. I want people to be more prepared, and I'm hoping, and I'm really, really hoping that after what happened 3 weeks ago, you are now more prepared than you have been in your entire life for severe weather, and to bust that old adage that we live in a bubble in Bowling Green. There's no such thing. I've never believed it. I've said, I've written articles, and I've been on television, and to say there is no such thing as a bubble. But you even have people who claim to know weather talk about, well, that storm missed us, that snow missed us. We must, the bubbles held tight. That's bull. There is no such thing as a bubble, and that leads people to believe that there is really some sort of atmospheric bubble that's going to protect us from all these things. Just because it's been like since 98 have we had anything like December 11th, people have been lulled into a sleep, really, thinking that we live under some kind of bubble that doesn't exist. And I kept saying one day it's going to be our turn, and there it was, and there it is. And I don't know what else to say to that except that you just have to be weather aware all the time. That doesn't mean you need to live in a panic. That's the worst thing you could do. Being worried about it is not going to make it go away. Being worried about what the weather can do is not going to make it go around you and not do anything. That's not the way it works. Weather and nature has no regard to where you live or how old you are or your financial status or any of that. If it's going to hit, it's going to hit. There's nothing you can do about it except be prepared and seek shelter and know what to do in these situations. You're more likely to come out of it unscathed if you listen and follow directions and have some patience and have some common sense and not get into a panic and believe there's a bubble. There's no bubble. I think that was proven 3 weeks ago. There's no bubble, never has been. So anyway, I didn't mean to get into all that, but I just felt like it needed to be said. Let's go back to the radar. And I know we're thinking it's January 1st. We should be talking about snow. We should be talking about cold. I can tell you that it's going to get downright cold after this goes away by tomorrow evening. We're going to drop into the upper 20s. And some of you may even get a little bit of light snow out of it. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. All right, let's look at this cell again that is over Edmondson County. It's got it's got a little bit of a little concern here on the south end right here at Brownsville. Just a little bit south, right where that little bit of green and red meets up with this kind of brownish gold color. Yeah, that's I'm surprised there's not a tornado warning for that one. Oh, wait a minute. It just came down as I was saying that. We now have a tornado warning for Hart in Edmondson County until 11:30. All right. So this means I'm also going to break in on the radio side and give an update here. So hang with me as I do this. This is Chris Allen live at Sam 100.7. We have a tornado warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service for Edmondson County until 11:30. I'm looking at radar right now, which shows a possible tornado just a few miles southeast of Brownsville, and it's moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. Radar indicated tornado just southeast of Brownsville in Edmondson County, moving to the north and east again at 50 miles per hour. The Weather Service and myself here doing live coverage of this severe weather on the Facebook page, Sam 100.7 Facebook page, also on our YouTube channel, Sam Channel BG. You can follow along. We've been watching a cell here that has looks like it's producing some tight rotation now just east of Brownsville and moving over the Mammoth Cave area along Highway 70. That couplet where we see inbound winds going to outbound winds and rotating may be producing a tornado right now. If it is producing a tornado, it would be a rain wrapped tornado. There's a lot of heavy rain surrounding the possible tornado. And since it is moving east at 50 miles per hour, it'll soon be over the Horse Cave area and close to Cave City, the Hart County, Barron County line within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Again, it is moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. So, once again, be advised a tornado warning is now in effect for the Brownsville area. The cell is moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. We're also getting some reports of funnel clouds in and around the city of Brownsville. Again, we don't know how strong this is or if it's even reaching the ground, but at least there have been some visible reports of a funnel cloud just east of Brownsville, now moving into the Mammoth Cave National Park area. So, therefore, the National Weather Service has changed that severe thunderstorm warning into a tornado warning for the central and southern half of Edmondson County, and that's in effect until 11:30. Keep it right here at SAM 100.7 for instant weather bulletins from the National Weather Service. And as I mentioned earlier, you can follow me on Facebook. All right. So there, okay, so there we go. You just heard it again from the National Weather Service tornado warning for central and southern parts of Edmondson County for the next 15 minutes until 11:30. Spotters seeing a funnel cloud and radar imagery showing a rotating couplet, inbound and outbound winds, a little tighter rotation on radar, which is indicating a possible tornado. So if you're east of Brownsville along Highway 70, also if you head toward I-65 and 31W in the Caveland area between Horse Cave and Cave City, you are in direct line of that possible tornado. So you need to seek shelter immediately as that storm is moving east at 50 miles per hour. Again, keep it here at SAM 100.7 for the latest weather bulletins. They will interrupt, like you just heard, instantly from the National Weather Service. And if you'd like to follow along with weather coverage, I am live right now on YouTube at Sam Channel BG or on my Facebook pages and the SAM 100.7 Facebook page. All right. So let's see. What is this? Oh, now another tornado warning, but this is for Todd County. So those of you hopefully east of Brownsville, you're okay now, but it's east of Brownsville, between as that thing is moving off to the east northeast, as you see the box, the red box, indicating a tornado warning, which expires in 12 minutes. Um, Looks like it may now start to go more toward between Munfordville and Horse Cave along I-65 and 31W. So if you live in between Munfordville and Horse Cave, you need to seek shelter right here. This is where the target, or that at least that's the target zone for that possible tornado where they have seen a funnel cloud and some rotation. So you should be in a shelter right now. Okay. And if you've got a portable radio, you know, you can you can take us with you to your shelter, basement, centermost room in your house, uh, in a closet is a good place to go, away from outside walls and windows. Try to find the centermost part of your home and just stay there. Try to cover yourself with blankets and pillows, whatever. Again, these are brief tornadoes. I'm already seeing this one looks like it's wanting to disorganize a little bit or fall apart a little bit. Notice here how the coupling is breaking up just a little bit. It's not as tight of a rotation as it was only a few minutes ago when the warning was issued. But if you're in Hart County, you're hearing the sirens go off and all of that. That's again to get people uh, that are outside, which is possible today on a day when we're almost at 70 degrees on New Year's Day. There's going to be people outdoors while it's not raining and storming. That's to get people indoors. You're not supposed to hear a outdoor warning siren inside your house. You're just not. I hear people complain every time that they didn't hear the sirens go off. Sirens are not made to be heard indoors. And that's another thing you shouldn't believe, just like believing there's a bubble. You shouldn't believe that. There's no bubble. But here's another thing that you need to get rid of right now is that I didn't hear the sirens inside my house. You're not supposed to hear them inside your house unless there's one like right next to you. Sirens are made to be heard outdoors.
Your thunderstorm warning for southwestern Logan County in south central Kentucky until 11:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. At 11:18 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles southeast of Elkton, moving east at 55 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected.
There we go again.
Damage to roofs, siding, and trees. This severe thunderstorm will be near Russellville around 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. A tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central Kentucky. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central Kentucky.
So there you see a new tornado warning for eastern Todd County, including the Allensville area. And that's just outside of the Sam radio listening area. But I know we have a lot of people listen to us online and follow along here. But this is to show you that we've got more development. And look at that couplet. That's showing some pretty good tightening there right at Allensville. That's 431 right on the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Only a few miles south of that, there's the Tennessee border as it moves into Logan County. So Logan County, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning. It doesn't look like they're going to continue the tornado warning, although I'm seeing this right here. That's pretty tight. That could be some rotation. Or even some of this now that's embedded in Russellville. You see the green inside the red? That's a gust. That's those upper winds coming down to the ground and probably producing some damaging wind. Okay, let's go back up here to Brownsville, the Horse Cave, Mammoth Cave area. And you can see that Munfordville, you're right in line with that possible tornado. So, like I said, if you're in Munfordville or even north of Horse Cave along I-65, 31W, let's see, north of 218 that runs right through Horse Cave, goes over to 31E. Even if you're 31E to the east of Munfordville, maybe 88. What is it, 1547? I'm trying to think of some of the roads there. You should be in a shelter right now because a possible tornado with visible funnel with a visible funnel has been seen just to your south and west, moving toward the Munfordville area. So, Munfordville, Central Hart County, you should be taking shelter right now because of that particular cell that's moving out of the Brownsville area, Edmondson County, the Mammoth Cave area, and now Munfordville is getting some really heavy rain and gusty winds right now. So keep that in mind. And you may not be able to see a tornado. It may be rain wrapped. It may not be the visible, perfectly shaped funnel. It just may not. With this kind of moist environment, moisture laden environment, it's very likely that you would not be able to see the actual tornado. So don't be a hero or try to be one and grab your phone and go out and try to get a picture of it. You may not even see it. Not until the rotation is right up on you, then it's too late. But this can do some damage. Nothing like what we saw 3 weeks ago. I want to reemphasize that because I don't want people thinking that this is another outbreak of tornadoes. It is not. And it is not expected to be. The worst of the tornadoes are going to be further south into the Tennessee Valley and on into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, those locations. So here, we've got a new tornado warning now going for Logan and Simpson County until 11:45. So that's the next one to come down. Let's go back. This is the one that, and here it comes, that we were just talking about from Allensville into Logan County. They're going to upgrade that to a tornado warning. And here it is from the Weather Service.
The National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a tornado warning for southern Logan County in south central Kentucky, west central Simpson County in south central Kentucky until 11:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. At 11:24 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Russellville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Expected hazards include tornado. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This tornadic thunderstorm will remain over mainly rural areas of southern Logan and west central Simpson counties, including the following locations: Middleton, Oakville, Cave Springs, Lickskillet, Dennis, and Auburn. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
All right. There you see it. Yeah, now that this last scan that just came in and put up the red box, which is the tornado warning for Logan and a little sliver of Simpson County, that would be over near the Providence area, if I'm guessing right. I think that's right. Providence in the far western part of Simpson County. That is where you see that couplet right there, the bright green against the dark bright red. That's where it is. South of Russellville, there's 431, 79 as it goes further south and west. Here's 6880. Well, that cell is going to move northward toward the Auburn area. So if you're in Auburn, you need to seek shelter right now. You need to either go to a basement or the centermost part of your room or your house, whether it be a bathroom or a closet, something away from doors and windows. And grab a blanket. You've got time, just a few minutes here, just in case this is an actual tornado on the ground. Now, again, I want to caution everybody, this is not a guaranteed confirmed tornado like we saw 3 weeks ago. With every one of those warnings 3 weeks ago, they had the wording confirmed with them. These do not. These are radar indicated tornadoes. They may be funnels or they may be wrapped in a lot of rain, and you're not going to be able to see them. They don't last very long. They just spin up for a few minutes and then they're gone. But they can still do some damage. How much damage or how strong these are, hard to say. But just given what I'm seeing here on the radar, this is probably the best indication of a tornado I've seen so far today. Right there. Winds going out, winds coming in. I mean, it's pretty obvious where that spin is right there. You see the little kink right there south of Russellville. And it has a nice little S shape to it. That is kind of a giveaway right there that we've got something either rotating, spinning in the air, or it's reaching ground. And right now, Russellville getting some very heavy rain and even some hail. There may be some small hail embedded in that, what you're seeing there on radar. Again, tornado warning now for Logan and Simpson, small part of Simpson, the western half, until 11:45 for the next 16 minutes. I'm going to continue to watch that couplet there because uh, it is pretty impressive. Not on the order of what I saw 3 weeks ago. What I saw 3 weeks ago would have been it would have been hard for anybody to look at that radar and say, "Oh, that's not a tornado." Oh, you could almost see everything from the tornado, from the radar perspective. You could see just how strong those tornadoes were. This one, yeah, look at this now. Here's the new scan. Look at the bright greens right there against the bright red. Definite rotation south of Russellville. It's right now crossing over 431 south of Russellville. And eventually it's on a path to take it to Auburn. So if you're listening to me or watching me on social media and you're in the Auburn area, you should be seeking shelter right now. I mean, right now, because you've only got a couple of minutes to get to your shelter. If you're in like I'm trying to think of some of the other locations in that area. Unfortunately, on this particular radar, I don't have the minuscule locations. Like I know, I'm trying to go by memory of where some of the smaller towns are. There's Auburn, of course. There, South Union would be another one of those places that would need to be seeking shelter as you go out 6880, a little bit east of the Auburn area, in between Auburn and Bowling Green. And we may have to watch Bowling Green. If this cell stays together like I see it right now, this could be a problem for, say, the Browning community, um, west of Bowling Green along 6880. It could be a problem. But right now, I'm not seeing that. But let's just see how this continues to hold together, because it is so far the most impressive cell today that I've seen that could be producing an actual tornado. And look at that now. I think it has gained just a little bit of strength. This is, yes. I mean, it's going to be hard to say that there's not a tornado there. And I've had a lot of radar training. And I can tell you, just by looking at that right there, that's a problem. That could be a tornado on the ground. It looks like it's wrapped in a lot of rain. I can tell that over here. See how it's wrapped in rain, except for this little notch on the south end of it, that's the inflow. That's where the surface winds are feeding and fueling that cell, helping it to spin and rotate. So that's a problem. Um, Again, if you're in that area, I don't know if I can get a tighter. It gets really pixelated, as you can see, it gets real blocky the tighter I get in on it. But there is that green inbound or outbound, according to the radar, then the inbound winds. And it's, kind of right there, just almost to Auburn. So hopefully, those of you listening in Auburn are seeking shelter because this is a very likely tornado on the ground. Not sure how big, doesn't matter. It's going to be capable of doing damage, and you need to be in your shelter area right now. Looks like it may be kind of in that Chandler's Chapel area, Dennis. Trying to think of some of the other. There's an update on the box. The Weather Service adjusting the shape of the box and its progress. Russellville, you're out of this. Russellville, don't worry about this. No tornado for you. If there is a tornado, it's now south and east of you, but it's making a beeline toward Auburn, right along 6880. Right now, it's just south of 6880. Again, kind of in that Dennis area, in between Auburn and Russellville. It's south of Chandler's Chapel, I would say, in that area, and it's moving off to the east at a pretty good clip. Um, any of you that are in the chat room in the Auburn area or in like over toward Dennis or Chandler's Chapel in that area, uh, if it's safe to do so, you could feel free to give me an update about what you see. Okay. Yeah, it is quiet. Markeisha said it's really quiet in Bowling Green. It is for the moment, but that's going to change. Yeah, Rockfield, you would be in line with this. Um, Again, this is a concern. This particular warning, and again, we've got about 10 minutes, 11 minutes left in this tornado warning for Logan and a little sliver of Simpson County until 11:45. Radar indicating tornado. Nothing confirmed, but again, just seeing what we're seeing here on the radar screen is a concern right there. It's almost to Auburn. There's Auburn. As it moves off to the east, northeast at 50 miles per hour. Um, just checking with the Weather Service chat room. Um, so I've got a friend of mine who lives in Auburn who told me that they're in their closet, they're in their safe space. That's good. Here comes a report from Olmsted. Logan County train spotter reported that a tornado did do damage to a grain silo near Highway 79 and 1151. That's in the Olmsted area. Logan County. So that would be further back to the south and west of where we're looking at right now on the radar. But it does confirm what I've been looking at here, that is a very likely a tornado couplet. And there's the newest scan. And notice that it's lost a little bit of punch right as it comes over the Auburn area, right there. Let's hope that's the case. I hope that it's lost some of its composition. It still may do some wind damage. Okay, doesn't have to be a tornado to produce wind damage. Uh, but this is what I'm talking about. This is not like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, those tornadoes traveled hundreds of miles and head together. These are forming within a few minutes, and then about 20 to 30 minutes or less later, they fall apart. This is why we say with confidence, this is nothing like what happened on December 11th. That was an historic generational outbreak of tornadoes in December. Very unusual. This is just because we've got warm air, we've got a cold front coming in, we've got stuff going on that's more spring-like than winter-like, and it's producing these. Okay, here we go with a. This is going to be a tornado warning now for Logan and Warren and Simpson County. So here in Warren County, that cell is about to move into the Browning area. So now Warren County.
The Service in Louisville has issued a tornado warning for East Central Logan County in South Central Kentucky, Northwestern Simpson County in South Central Kentucky, Central Warren County in South Central Kentucky until 12:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 11:38 a.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles east of Russellville, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. Expected hazards include tornado. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Memphis Junction and Crestmere around 11:50 a.m. Central Standard Time. Plum Springs and Mount Victor around 11:55 a.m. Central Standard Time. Other locations in the path of this tornadic thunderstorm include Bowling Green. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors,
We don't need
in a
this.
mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
Yeah, we don't need this. But it is what it is. Again, going back to what I said earlier, nature doesn't care. It's gonna hit where it's gonna hit. I'm hoping that with these last few radar scans, we're seeing a weakening of this, but this tornado warning does take in the city of Bowling Green. So I'm going to go back on the radio here. Give me a second. This is Chris Allen live at SAM 100.7. The National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning for portions of Warren County, including the Bowling Green area. As we are looking off to our west, for those of you following me on social media, I've been doing live coverage on our Facebook pages, mine and Sam 100.7's Facebook page, along with our Sam Channel BG on YouTube. We're looking at some threatening clouds coming this way and a possible tornado in the Auburn area, which is moving now along 6880 and will be moving into places like Woodburn and Browning in the next few minutes. While this storm was located back in Logan County, spotters there did confirm that they saw a funnel cloud, and there has been a little bit of damage that has been reported around the Olmsted area in Logan County. Did damage to a grain silo along Highway 79 and 1151. Now, I want to caution all of this with that, with the I guess the approach that this is not what happened here 3 weeks ago. This is not the same thing. Even though we have a tornado warning for Warren County, and that cell is almost following the same path that the one did on December 11th, it is not on the scale of what we experienced with an EF3, but it is tornado capable. And by that, I mean, all right. Again, this is Chris Allen live at Sam 100.7 at 11:46, January 1st, New Year's Day, with that tornado warning that is now in effect. In fact, there are several tornado warnings now in effect that are taking in parts of Warren County. If you live north of Bowling Green, you are not in this warned area. But if you're south of Bowling Green, south of Smiths Grove, and on down toward Woodburn, Browning, on down to Franklin now in Simpson County, you're part of that new tornado warning. And even stretching back into Adairville, southern Logan County, there's another cell that looks to maybe produce a tornado that's now moving to the east northeast at about 50 to 60 miles per hour. In fact, this new tornado warning does take in Logan, Simpson, and southern Warren until 12:15. This thunderstorm, capable of producing a tornado, now 11 miles south of Russellville, moving northeast at 65. And if you're looking back to the west of Bowling Green, you're seeing just an incredibly large, massive clouds. Underneath it, a lot of rain, but there also may be embedded in that shaft of rain a tornado. And that's our concern, because on radar, we are seeing rotation, and there has been visible rotation indicated by storm spotters back in Logan County. And also, as I mentioned, just before that last warning, there were some reports of some damage around the Olmsted area in Logan County. Heavy rain and wind now battering Auburn, and it's moving right up 6880 into Bowling Green around the Browning area. Intense straight line winds, but we're also seeing little couplets of possible rotation. Now, whether that rotation is making it down to the ground remains to be seen. But there has been some indication that as this line begins to move in, it does have enough energy to produce a brief tornado, but it could be wrapped in a lot of rain. Therefore, it may not be visible. So we caution you not to go outside and start looking around for a funnel or a tornado because you may not be able to see it. It could be wrapped in a lot of rain and not visible to your phone or to yourself. You need to be in a shelter. Your best place for shelter is a basement. If you don't have a basement, you need to go to the centermost part of your dwelling. No matter what dwelling that is, get into a basement. If not a basement, find a bathroom or a closet. Grab some blankets and pillows on your way there. Maybe a bathtub. That would be a good place to go. Stay away from outside walls and windows and seek shelter. Again, I want to stress that you need to take precaution and use this opportunity as if it were a real tornado headed for your house, because there very well could be one. Is it going to be on the order of what we saw 3 weeks ago? Probably not, but still enough to cause damage like trees, power lines, roofing. Anything that's a movable object outdoors could be damaged or blown away. So that's why we say with this tornado warning, and based on what we saw 3 weeks ago, you should be seeking shelter in the city of Bowling Green, in the community of Browning and Woodburn, and even Plano, further south into Franklin, and to even further west, Shaco, Adairville, south of Russellville. All of these storms and potential tornadoes are moving off to the northeast at 65 miles per hour, about as fast as one would drive down the highway. There's blinding rains, which is going to reduce visibility. And based on the rains that we had this morning, which caused some flooding in a lot of areas, this is just going to make matters worse. You're not going to be able to see. There's going to be a lot of ponding of water on the roadways, hydroplaning. If you're going the speed limit, if you're going 70 miles per hour, it is going to cause you to lose control of your vehicle if you run up on one of these ponds of standing water. And that causes accidents in situations like this. But if you're in the city of Bowling Green, you're about to get hammered with incredibly heavy rain. And I'm already getting some power flashes here at our studio, if you heard that, which means doesn't necessarily mean a tornado, but it means that here it comes, and it's going to be rough here for a few minutes on the leading edge of this. And again, there is a possible tornado. So if we lose power here at the station, um, we will hopefully come back up in just a few minutes. But if you lose power, you can still listen to us on the radio, Sam 100.7, or you can stream us at bowlinggreensam.com, or continue to watch my social media coverage on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, Sam Channel BG. I'm not getting any new updates. Hold on. Tornado warning continues for Warren County until 12:15. It's over the Mount Victor area, moving northeast at 70. Here it comes. Here it is right here at our studios it is, it's coming down hard. And I'm not seeing any hail, but the wind is pretty incredible. Uh, we're getting flash flooding on top of that. I'm located on Campbell Lane, which is right about, if you're looking at the social media feed here on radar, right in here. So I'm on the leading edge of this, and man, it is incredible. I hope that you guys are in your shelter at the moment, because this is pretty powerful. There goes another flash, another power flash. You may lose the sound of my voice here for a minute or two until the worst of this passes through. But again, this is nothing like 3 weeks ago. Okay, I'm gonna let this. We've got a lot of people in our chat room. Um, Power just went out to Russellville Road, Memphis Junction area. Kathy, thank you for that. Most people that are following along our coverage here are in their shelter, telling me so. I mean, this is, I still see traffic on Campbell Lane, but man, you shouldn't be out. This is, I don't know how you can see. The rain is very intense, and now it's causing some flash flooding. I know we're going to have a flood issue here just based on the rains that we had this morning and what we're getting right now, which is a good inch to 2 inches or more just within the last few minutes. That was intense rainfall and wind. But it appears the worst of this is now passed over the Campbell Lane area, now headed for Scottsville Road in that direction. Again, tornado warning until 12:15. We've got about 20 minutes left on this tornado warning for the Warren County area. Let's see. Power is out in the Hillview Mills subdivision on Russellville Road. Um, that comes from Julia. Thank you for that. And I'm just kind of scanning through the chat room and some of your comments. Please don't put yourself in harm's way. If you've got a chance to comment, you've got some damage, a tree down, or power's out, or something like that, feel free to comment there in the social media feed, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. And hopefully I'll get to it. Rich Pond is without power. So that was some of the power flashes we experienced here just a few minutes ago here at our studios on Campbell Lane. Let's see. Lover's Lane area, hard rain and wind. Yeah, that as it passes here, it's going that way. Um, Heavy rain and wind on Barnwood Court, according to Lisa. Let's, for those of you that are online and watching the coverage, want to go back to the latest radar. And for those that are listening on radio, this is live severe weather coverage on SAM 100.7. I'm Chris Allen, and following along here, I've been online for a couple of hours covering the severe weather through Facebook and YouTube but broke in here for our radio listeners to alert you to the tornado warning that's in effect for about 15 more minutes for Warren County, especially the southern half of Warren County from Bowling Green south to the Smiths Grove area. And mostly what I'm seeing now is straight line winds and not necessarily tornado indicators. I'm going to stop the motion on the radar. And for those of you that are listening on the radio, just be advised that uh, the things I'm going to tell you, I know it's hard unless you're looking at a radar, but just follow along as best you can. Just make sure you stay in your shelter until we're given the all clear on this tornado warning. Straight line winds certainly into Bowling Green. The concern is there's another cell that has somewhat of a broad couplet on it that's moving from southeastern Logan County into Simpson County, again around that Providence area in Simpson County, which is going to be far western Simpson County. You're under a tornado warning as well. It looks like it's going to go in between Woodburn and Franklin, but cross over 31W and I-65 and then go into the southern tip of Warren County here in the next few minutes near Woodburn. So we're not done yet. And this entire line is taking its time moving eastward, but the individual cells within that line are moving at a very fast speed at about 60, 65 miles per hour. So if there are tornadoes or if there is a tornado in a particular area, it's going to be brief and it's not going to be as strong as what we had 3 weeks ago. It is not going to be that kind of an event. Even though we've got a number of tornado warnings in effect right now, including Bowling Green and Warren County, this is not the kind of setup that we had back on December 11th. That was a rare, historical, generational event, outbreak, if you will, of tornadoes that started back in Tennessee and Arkansas and went for hundreds of miles. This is not that. But I do want you to be cautious in that these brief spin ups can still cause damage. Nothing like what we saw that came down the bypass here in Bowling Green and went through other communities, Dawson Springs and Mayfield and Taylor County, different places. It's not like that. This would be lower end, smaller scale tornadoes. And they're happening along the leading edge of a long line of thunderstorms that is moving in ahead of a powerful cold front. Yes, it does have a lot of energy with it, but it's not the same exact setup that we had 3 weeks ago. It's just not. So whatever does produce, or if there is a tornado that comes out of any of these, they would be small scale, low end, brief spins enough to do some damage to maybe a carport or a barn or a grain silo or something like that, but not on the order of total destruction that we had on December 11th and 12th. So I just want to make that clear to those of you that are listening right now. And it is 12 noon on January 1st, New Year's Day 2022, and you're listening to WKLX Brownsville Bowling Green. Live severe weather coverage at SAM 100.7. I'm Chris Allen. Also online on Facebook, my Facebook pages, and the Sam 100.7 Facebook page and on YouTube. Just search for Sam Channel BG and you'll see it. Okay, here's the latest from the National Weather Service as I'm in their chat room getting updates on all of this. Heavy rainfall, flash flooding, as mentioned, as we're starting to now get the rainy part of this system. On the leading edge is where the more likelihood of a tornado is going to happen. Once the leading edge gets past you, it's going to turn into a heavy rain event after that. Um, then gusty winds as we continue through the afternoon into this evening until the cold front comes through. Wind gusts are certainly likely to get up 40, 50 miles per hour or higher. That's going to blow some things around even without a tornado threat. The tornado warning will continue until 12:15 for parts of Simpson and Warren County. It is now moving to the northeast at 70 miles per hour. And so that takes in just the southern half of Warren County. That also takes in up the interstate to Oakland, Smiths Grove, and then the southern half, Woodburn, southward to just about Franklin in Simpson County. Those are the only two areas now that are under a tornado warning for the next 10 minutes. But after that, it is nothing but rain and several hours of rain as I'm looking at the radar. If you're following along with me on the social media feed, boy, we've got a lot of rain still yet to come. And some of you this morning, right after the stroke of midnight, as we rung in the new year, picked up a couple of inches, 2.5, almost 3 inches of rain. And now we're going to get another inch or two on top of that. And already there are some creeks and streams and rivers that are overflowing. There are flood warnings out for certain areas, specifically back into Christian and Todd counties, and then further east as you head into central Kentucky. And I do expect more flood warnings to be issued before all of this begins to move out sometime later tonight. So this is going to be a while. And I'm also seeing more severe thunderstorm development now just ahead of this line. This is a concern around Gallatin down to Hartsville, Tennessee, Red Boiling Springs. We have some listeners in Lafayette and those areas, Sumner County, Macon County, down to Trousdale County, and even down southwest of Nashville. There are these individual cells that are popping up ahead of the main line because we've had some sun come out. And that's another concern because the sun is going to heat up all of that available moisture, and that's just going to make matters worse. But I can tell you that because we're getting the rain now along and west of I-65, from here on out, the severe weather threat is going to go down gradually. If you live along and east of I-65, like Glasgow, Greensburg, Campbellsville, Scottsville, Edmondson, Tompkinsville, Columbia, those areas, you have yet to get your severe weather threat. That's coming in the next hour. Okay, in the next hour, 90 minutes or so. But once the leading edge of all of this passes through, after that, the severe weather threat goes down and you no longer have to worry about severe weather. So if you live west of Interstate 65 or west of Bowling Green, the primary severe weather threat for possible tornadoes and severe thunderstorms and damaging winds is pretty much over, gradually waning off for you. But anybody east of Bowling Green, you still need to have a heads up and you need to pay attention to what I'm saying and what we're showing on radar. If you go to my Facebook page or the Sam 100.7 Facebook page or our YouTube channel, you'll see the radar. I've got it up right now with only those two tornado warnings, one for southern Warren County around the Woodburn area to near Franklin in Simpson County, and the other one northeast of Bowling Green, Oakland, and Smiths Grove area. And those are about to expire here in just a few minutes. The Weather Service is saying that a new tornado warning now is being issued for Taylor County and Marion County. Now, that is outside of the SAM 100.7 listening area. But for those online, if you're in that area listening, there is a severe thunderstorm now capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northeast of Campbellsville, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So, Marion and Taylor counties, that would be. Okay, there's a new tornado warning now for portions of it's going to take in just a little bit of southern Edmondson County. That's going to be south of Brownsville through the Park City, Cave City, Caverna area, and then just south of Munfordville into southeastern Hart County, northern Barron County. That would be north of Glasgow. Okay, the radar is having a little trouble doing its update here, but there we go. Now let me go to I think it may be the Louisville National Weather Service radar. Or go to Hopkinsville and we'll hit the Fort Campbell radar. But anyway, this is a new tornado warning. Go back to Nashville. So there we are. For those, and I'm describing for those of you that are listening on the radio, this new tornado warning, as you just heard, takes in parts of Barron, Edmondson, Greene, Hart, and Metcalfe counties until 12:45. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is not a confirmed tornado, but it is capable of producing one located 10 miles southeast of Brownsville, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour. So we'll zoom in on that. Those of you that are watching online, to help you find your bearing, there's Brownsville. Here is the Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City, Caverna area, northern Barron County. There's 65, 31W going up. Notice that box goes south and east of Munfordville. So if you live north of Munfordville, this is not coming your direction. This is going to be more from the Smiths Grove area into Park City, into Cave City, into Horse Cave. So if you're along I 65, 31W, even 31E, 218, even on up close to Munfordville, in between Horse Cave and Munfordville, you should be seeking shelter right now for a possible tornado. Again, this is just indicated by radar and not confirmed, but still, with the way the atmosphere is behaving, I would not take a chance here and think that that it's not going to be a tornado, because it certainly could be. Let me see if I can get the velocity scan. You know, usually when the radar gets very busy like this with a lot of warnings and a lot of activity, sometimes things don't work exactly how we want them to work. So it looks like the velocity scan is having some issues, but I wanted to see if that maybe I could see some rotation, but we'll just leave it at that for now. There is also a number of flood advisories that are coming out for these same areas because of the heavy rainfall. If you're not going to get a tornado and if you're not going to get wind damage, you are certainly going to get flooding rainfall. And the rainfall is going to be significant enough that it is going to produce flooding, because we had a bunch of rain this morning, 2.5, 3 inches of rain. And now we're getting a lot more on top of that. And it looks like we're going to be in for several hours of more heavy rain on top of what we received this morning. So all the little streams and creeks and rivers and ponds and things like that, tributaries to some of the bigger rivers like the Green River, the Barron River, those are going to be flooded, and for several days, not just today, but tomorrow and the next 2 or 3 days, as all that water has got to work down into the smaller creeks and streams eventually, and that's going to make matters worse. So here's the latest tornado warning for Barron, Edmondson, Greene, Hart, Metcalfe counties until 12:45. So another 30 minutes on that tornado warning. Possible tornado located 10 miles southeast of Brownsville, moving northeast at 70, which is going to take in I 65, 31W, Park City, Cave City, Horse Cave. If you're in any of those areas, and I would include Heistville in there as well, seek shelter immediately. If you have a basement, go there. If you don't have a basement, centermost part of your home, find a closet or a bathroom, grab some pillows and blankets, and seek shelter maybe in your bathtub or shower. It is the water pipes in your bathroom, and because most bathrooms are small, the smallest areas are going to be the ones less impacted by an actual tornado if you were to take a direct hit. But again, these are small, short-lived, low-end tornadoes. These are not the kind of tornadoes that we had 3 weeks ago that did the considerable damage all over the place, that went on for hundreds of miles. These are not those kind of tornadoes. This is not an outbreak, but it is concerning enough to where we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Again, right now, Park City, Cave City, Horse Cave, Heistville, and then maybe even west of Greensburg. That is the latest tornado warning. There is now an aerial flood advisory for Butler, Edmondson, Grayson, Hart, Logan, Ohio, and Warren counties all the way until 4:15 this afternoon because of the heavy rain that those of you that are online are seeing on the radar right now. And we expect several hours. Look at all that back there. Lots and lots of rain that is continuing, and it's all moving over the same area. And that's a concern because once we get past the severe weather threat, then the threat becomes flooding. Also, a tornado warning for Marion. The one for Taylor has come down, but Marion County, in case you're listening up around the Bardstown area, Springfield, and those areas, um, it's moving southeast of Lebanon, Kentucky, moving east at 60. So there you go with the latest on that. Just got a report of some snapped pine trees on Cave Mill Road in Bowling Green. That would be, I know there's some pine trees there at the corner of Cave Mill and Small House, and there's some more on down on the new section that goes out to Nashville Road. So it could be one of those areas with the wind getting a hold of that. I want to check on this one. You see this? Look, here's these little, look at that one. For those of you on the radio, sorry that you can't see this, but I'm looking at what looks like a hook, very pronounced hook, in the eastern part of Warren County, almost over toward, say, the Iron Bridge area, Trammell Creek, and then going on over to maybe near Barron River. Let's see if I can get the velocity to come up. For some reason, the velocity is not wanting to come up. I wish I could see. I may have to just do a reboot here. In fact, I'll do that and go full screen for the time being until I can get the radar back up. Sometimes the radar gets a lot of information and it can't keep up, uh, either because of internet issues or everything is just there's so much information running at one time. There we go. So we're back. Let me connect us back. Those of you that are online, connect back to the radar so you can see it. And again, we'll go back to music here once this tornado threat is over. So what I'm looking at uh, is seeing this little hook. Just because you see a hook on radar doesn't mean there's a tornado, but it is one of those things that looks suspect. And let me push this back. There we go. Now you can see it for those of you online, what I'm talking about. Um, but the velocity is not indicating that there's rotation there. It's all kind of mangled and jangled. It had a nice, impressive little J look to it there, which would mean that there was some inflow. It looks like there's a little boundary going south of that, maybe a little gust front headed towards Scottsville. We'll keep an eye on that, but from the velocity scan, I'm not seeing anything that would look like it could possibly be a tornado. And what I'm seeing north of us from that Park City, Cave City, Horse Cave area is mostly straight line wind. That would be, the force of these winds hitting the ground. And if you're in Horse Cave, Cave City, Park City, the Caverna area, anywhere south of Munfordville, but north of Glasgow and over toward Hiceville, it's most likely going to be straight line wind damage and not a tornado. But don't let your guard down because you're still under a tornado warning until 12:45. So we still have a few minutes left on that. So once this tornado warning goes down, then we'll probably go back to, unless there are new tornado warnings in our listening area, will turn the radio side back to music with the instant cut-ins that you hear, the instant bulletins from the National Weather Service. They do that. We've got it set up so it does it automatically. That way, if you're listening and a warning comes out, you'll hear those tones, the and all that, and followed by the information. That's to get your attention so that if you're driving down the road and you're just kind of listening background to the radio, it gets your attention. It tells you what the bulletin is or what the warning is, and then it sends you right back to the music. But in this particular situation where we've got tornado warnings in effect in our immediate SAM 100.7 listening area, then this is where we break in and do what we call wall to wall coverage. We've got coverage on the radio and we've got coverage on Facebook and coverage on YouTube. So that way you don't miss anything. And if you're in your shelter, you may be watching this on your device or on your iPad. You may be listening to it through Alexa or an Echo Dot, whatever, through TuneIn. We welcome you, and again, want to caution everybody that while this is an active weather setup, this is not. I repeat, this is not anything close to what happened 3 weeks ago on December 11th. We do have maybe one or two tornadoes, short-lived, low-end scale, not the big tornadoes that came through here that traveled hundreds of miles. This is not that situation. But it is dangerous enough if you're outdoors and you don't know what's coming, because some of these areas of rotation have been wrapped in rain. So you're not going to see. And because we live in an area that's got a lot of trees, even though most of the leaves are gone and all that, the visibility is not like out in the plains. You are not going to see a typical tornado like you see in a movie or on the Weather Channel or from chasers or things like that. These are going to be wrapped in a lot of rain. And so don't grab your phone and go out and try to get pictures. It's not worth it. Now, if you get damage and it's safe to do so, then you can certainly pass any kind of damage information on to me, and I will pass that on to the National Weather Service for them to pass on to everybody else. And it may be a case where there's been damage enough to where they need to come out and do surveys and to see where the damage is so they can determine whether straight line winds or an actual tornado. Only they can do that. I've got Linda. We've got hundreds of people online right now, 700 or so. Bowling Green is no longer under a tornado warning. In fact, the tornado threat for Bowling Green is over. You're done. Anywhere west of Bowling Green, you're done with any kind of severe weather threat for now, or maybe even for the rest of this event. The tornado threat, the severe weather threat, is on the very leading edge of this activity. This is, again, not like 3 weeks ago when a tornado that started in Arkansas ends up here. This is not going to be that. Straight line winds, Emory up in Horse Cave, major rainfall, straight line winds right now hitting them. Also, let's see, I'm looking for reports. Strong winds and sheets of rain in Horse Cave. Yeah, that's what you're seeing coming through on radar right now. And it's going to be pretty fast. 70 miles per hour this is moving. Not necessarily a tornado, but just the storm itself is moving at 70. Fast. It's picking up some forward speed now. That means that the cold front can't be that far back to the west of us. And it's going to continue. This is going to be a continual rainy, breezy scenario for the rest of the afternoon. And then tonight, some of that colder air will start to move in. And during the day tomorrow, you're going to feel a big difference. In fact, the next few days is going to feel more like winter and less like spring and summer. Um, let's see here. I'm just kind of scrolling through your chat, the chat room, your comments on both Facebook and YouTube. Depending on where you live, the severe weather threat is going to be over if you live more west of I-65, like out toward Russellville, on out toward Hopkinsville, western Kentucky. From here on out, it's rain and wind for the rest of the day. But you take I-65, kind of goes north and south. It does go north and south. East of I-65, Barron County, Glasgow, Metcalfe County, on out to the east, you're still under the severe weather threat for a little bit longer. Once you get the initial line of strongest storms past you, then it's just a bunch of rain and wind. The severe weather threat just goes away. So that hopefully gives you a little bit better idea. Yeah, the outdoor warning sirens going off in Barron County. Thanks, April. Um, Loretta's saying that there is some damage at Big Lots. Loretta, is that the Big Lots here in Bowling Green? I'm assuming. Let me know. Sirens in Cave City going off. Also damage, they're saying, at Thornton Furniture. Okay, I know there's supposed to be a basketball game coming on right now. I just want to give this a few more minutes. Sirens again in Cave City going off. Okay, let me check just a couple of messages here. Because I want to make sure I don't miss. Okay, there is some damage on Scottsville Road between Big Lots and Kroger. So apparently, it may be straight line wind damage, or it could be that brief tornado that we were tracking when Warren County was under the tornado warning. So I'm getting several reports. Hobby Lobby, Kroger, Big Lots, Scottsville Road area. There has been some damage there. And I will pick that. I will send that up to the National Weather Service. Thank you for those reports, because I've had
until 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. At 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Glasgow, moving east at 70 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 70 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Expect considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. This severe thunderstorm will be near Edmondson around 12:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. A tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central and Central Kentucky. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A tornado watch remains in effect until 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for South Central and Central Kentucky.
All right. So there we go. Another, and it looks like they may issue another Okay, I'm getting from other folks like yourself watching right now and from the National Weather Service that we've got some damage. I haven't seen pictures or video, but some damage in the Scottsville Road, Cave Mill Road, Greenwood Mall area. Kroger, Hobby Lobby, Big Lots, Thornton's Furniture on Cave Mill Road in that area seems to be where there has been some sort of damage. Don't know if it's a tornado, don't know if it's straight line wind, but there's damage in that area. So we've been hit with something. It could have been a brief tornado, it could have been just straight line winds, but definitely there's something that's happened here in Bowling Green again. Um, again, and on New Year's Day. Also, getting a report that Heistville has had some damage. Okay. So I because I'm running the stream here and running things on the radio, I don't have time to look at pictures. But um, you folks that have been out or have seen some of this, I mean, I'm getting numerous reports now of that occurring. Again, damage showing up in the Greenwood Mall, Scottsville Road, Cave Mill Road area that would include Thornton's Furniture as you go on down Cave Mill Road just behind the mall. Then Kroger and Hobby Lobby are right together. And then across Scottsville Road is the new location of Big Lots. So we're hearing that at least those locations have suffered some kind of damage, either from a straight line wind or maybe from a brief tornado. Hopefully, it's not anything too serious. But that's the report that we have right now. Uh, the tornado warning for Barron, Green, Hart, Metcalf continues until 12:45, 10 more minutes. The cell or possible tornado moving northeast at 65 miles per hour. And that's the one that you're seeing on the radar right now. And it is now the worst of it has moved past Cave City, Horse Cave, and Heistville. Some reports of maybe some damage in the Heistville area. But now look at that cell that's moving over Glasgow. Glasgow, you're not under a tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning that goes on for another 23 minutes and does take in the city of Glasgow and Bon Air, and then on out 6880, the Cumberland Parkway as you head toward Edmonton. It takes in the northern half of Metcalf County. But the good news that I'm seeing here, even though I'm seeing another one of those hooks here, a lot of that's going to be straight line winds moving through Glasgow right now. I'm not seeing rotation here. There's a very broad rotation, but nothing that would indicate a possible tornado. Fountain Run further south, you're getting some heavy rain, but I don't see anything there that looks tornadic, or even for Gamale or Tompkinsville in Monroe County, you're just going to get a lot of heavy rain and wind. It looks like the remnants of that tornado warning in southeastern Hart County that is moving into Greene County does still have a little bit of a area of rotation right there on the Hart and Greene County line. That would be maybe 88. 88's a little bit further north of that, but maybe on out 218 as you keep going. Um, that is a bit of concern, maybe out towards 70, that direction. So just be aware of that. But your tornado warning is going to expire here in just a few minutes. And then the attention turns back to this that's going through Glasgow right now. As you can see, um, it's got that little bit of a hook shape to it, forcing winds down to the ground, but I don't see any kind of green to red on the velocity scope that would indicate a possible tornado, but we'll keep an eye on that as you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is going to continue um, for the next several minutes. All right. We are carrying the Western basketball game. It's in progress. It's the pregame that's on right now. I hope to be done with this for those of you who want to listen to Hilltopper basketball. We'll join that in progress here in just a few minutes. But I want to make sure our tornado threat is exiting our listening area and going down because we still have that one warning. And as you can see now, south of Nashville and southwest of Nashville, that's where the worst of the weather is going to be from here on out. There still may be east of Bowling Green over toward the Cumberland Plateau, the Lake Cumberland area, in this general area to the east. You've had a little bit more sun today. It is possible that you could get a few more warnings out of that. Okay, I'm starting to get some pictures. Um, let me see if I, yeah, it looks like Thornton's furniture it took a hit. Um, it looks like maybe a brief tornado touched down there on Cave Mill Road as I reported about the damage. Thornton's Furniture, Kroger, Hobby Lobby, across Scottsville Road, kind of in that Cave Mill Road area, over toward where the new um, yeah, from Hobby Lobby. Anyway, I can't think of it. I just lost my place. You know where I'm talking about, Cave Mill Road, Scottsville Road area. Um, so many of you are starting to chime in about some of the damage. Um, Now, those of you asking, is it going to hit this town? Is it going to hit that town? I can tell you, anywhere you live east of I 65, you're in the severe zone. You're likely to get more severe weather, damaging straight line winds, and maybe a possible tornado, short lived, low end tornado that can do damage, as we've seen, or I just saw from pictures around the Cave Mill Road area. It can do that. A smaller area, smaller scale type tornado, not like what we had 3 weeks ago. Damage is damage, but that's why you still need to be on guard. So just take my word for it. If you live anywhere east of I 65, you're still under a severe weather threat. Yeah, one of our fellow coworkers here um, at Commonwealth Broadcasting, he's in the Lecta community in Barron County. He said everything just got real still. That's that cell that I was showing you that potentially has that little hook on it. They are not warning for a tornado on that, but it does have maybe the capability of producing something weak. There it is as it moves now past Glasgow, and the Lecta area is right there. 6880 out to the east of Glasgow, and that's the severe thunderstorm warning as it moves that cell into northern Metcalfe County. And remember, any of these can produce a tornado at any time. So I've got a lot of messages and I'm not able to get to all of them. But I appreciate those of you that are telling me where the damage has occurred. Dot says downtown Hopkinsville got hit with an apparent tornado. A home in Priceville um, either hit with a brief tornado or straight line winds. Um, a barn, Alex says a barn on 240 between Woodburn and Plano, roof peeled back. Not surprised at that. But it seems the damage in Bowling Green is around the Scottsville Road, Cave Mill Road, Greenwood Mall area where we have converged or we have confirmed damage in those areas. Also, some damage up in Highsville. I'm seeing a picture of two sent in from the Highsville area, pine trees. Looks like pine or spruce that's come down on a car. So yeah, maybe a lot of damage, Ellie says, in Hopkinsville from what she has seen. Of course, back to the west is where it was much stronger. What I'm hearing from the National Weather Service in the chat room is the severe thunderstorm warning continues for a few more minutes for Barron and Metcalf. And that's the area that you're seeing on the radar right now. There's a tornado warning on top. Then there's a severe thunderstorm warning on the bottom. The bottom part of that is the severe thunderstorm that's moving out of the Lecta Keno area east of Glasgow and eastern Barron, moving into northern Metcalf County, north of the Edmondson area. So be on guard there. The tornado warning that's in effect is going to be allowed to expire right now, 12:45. That particular tornado warning that we see from Highsville, which has done some damage there, and along the Hart and Greene County line. This red box is going to go away here in a moment. And then they're going to put a severe thunderstorm warning from Greensburg up to Campbellsville, and then further south, northern Metcalf County into southern Greene, or I should say, northwestern Adair County, which is here, maybe taking in the Columbia area. So let's see. I just heard that one come down. Yes. Severe thunderstorm warning now for southeastern Greene, southeastern Marion, all of Taylor County. Then it goes on into northwestern Casey and northeastern Adair County until 1:15 slow time, 2:15 fast time. Those folks that live over there know what I'm talking about. Slow time is central, fast time is eastern, because you've got the time zone line running in between Columbia and Campbellsville. Winds 60 or 70 mile per hour wind gust. It's now located over Greensburg, and there you see it, the red over Greensburg. And that cell is moving east at 65, and there's the new severe thunderstorm warning. At this moment, there are no more tornado warnings. Thank goodness. But we have damage. We have some damage either from straight line winds or from possible tornadoes. Either way, again, this event, not like the one 3 weeks ago, but still we have damage. So be careful out there. I'm going to stay online with coverage, but get off the radio side with coverage since we have no more tornado warnings in the SAM 100.7 listening area. But if you'd still like to follow me online, go to my Facebook page. You can go to the SAM 100.7 Facebook page, or you can go to YouTube and search for Sam Channel BG. Sam Channel BG on YouTube, and you can watch there. And I'll continue coverage and follow the radar here for the next little bit. In the meantime, we join our regularly scheduled program already in progress, Hilltopper basketball on SAM 100.7. Okay. So the Weather Service got rid of the tornado warning for parts of Barron, Green, and Hart, and Metcalf. No more tornado warnings are in effect. This is now turning into a heavy rain event. As you can see, we've got lots of rain still back to the west of us. Several hours of rain all back through and down into Tennessee and then back up. I mean, and notice that it's all kind of traveling over the same area. Any severe weather is going to be on the leading edge of that line. And out here, so far, no warnings around Tompkinsville or Burkesville, down around the Lake Cumberland area, Dale Hollow Lake, not seeing warnings there yet. You go on down into Tennessee and you see one severe thunderstorm warning around Centerville, just southwest of Nashville. But note here that they've had a lot of instability and the sun has been out for a long time in Middle Tennessee and the Cumberland Plateau. So that's where you're more likely to get severe weather for the rest of the afternoon into this evening until the cold front itself, which is still way back here to the west of us, moves through. And that'll be later on this evening. Um, the front is still kind of way back here. There may be a ramping up of some activity along the cold front later on this afternoon as it pushes in, but it's going to come in with a lot of wind and a lot of cold air. And that's why we've got going on what we're seeing going on right now. But the severe weather threat is pretty much over. A lot of the severe weather threat now is going to go down unless you live where you still see those yellow boxes like Taylor County, Adair County, Metcalf County, Greene County. East of there, on into Central County, out of our listening area, that's where the severe weather is going to continue. Or if you live in middle and southern Tennessee, northern Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, the severe weather threat is going to continue to punch on to the east as we go through the afternoon and evening. I will just tell you this that that everything is starting to weaken now, and things are starting to calm down. But just make sure that everybody's checked on here. I know that I don't know why that's out of focus, but I do know that people are out surveying the damage. People around here, around the Greenwood Mall area, Cave Mill, Scottsville Road area, they're out there looking at some of this damage and they're trying to determine, exactly, um, they're starting to pick up pieces and see what's going on in those places. You just stay away. Just like 3 weeks ago when we had the big tornadoes and all of that, just kind of stay away from all that. Watch out for water. There's a lot of standing water all over the area, and you really need to just avoid that altogether. especially if you live near a flooded, a creek or stream or river that floods often. Let me see if I can fix this focus here. There we go. If you live near a body of water, even a small creek or stream, you need to just don't attempt to drive through places like that. Your vehicle can stall out and you can be flooded and then sent downstream. And that's a very dangerous thing. So, again, thanks to everybody that's been watching this afternoon and listening on the radio and here on Facebook and YouTube. I think the worst of this is over now for us. It's just going to be a lot of wind and rain, then eventually colder air coming in behind this system as we get into tonight and tomorrow. The next few days are going to be downright chilly. I mean, cold, cold. By tomorrow night, we are looking at low temperatures being in the low 20s. Some may even drop into the upper teens. There is a small chance of seeing some snow showers or flurries tomorrow as the temperatures start in the 40s and then go down the rest of the day. If there's any leftover moisture from this system out there, then it would produce some snow flurries. But again, the ground temperatures are too warm for it to have any impact. I don't think here in southern Kentucky we're going to have to worry about any kind of issues with roads and things like that. So thank you. God bless you all for listening and watching on this eventful New Year's Day. Welcome 2022 with storms. Eventually, the weather will shake out and we'll get back to where we're supposed to be in the next few weeks and months. Could it happen again? Yes, it could happen again. But thank you for trusting me and trusting us for your weather. I appreciate it very much. Any feedback is welcome, good or bad. I thank you. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. Happy New Year from all of us here at Commonwealth Broadcasting.